Hi, welcome all. This is Clari from Clari's Creations. I'm so excited that you're here because this is my very first video that I'm going to start with volume 1 of what's hiding inside this mirror. So let's create, and I'll tell you a little bit more while we're creating. Okay, we are going to be using this mirror. Now, I use odd things to make journals. So I traced out that mirror on some of this cardboard, okay? And I'm going to cut out two pieces because I want it to be very sturdy because it's going to be a thick, heavy journal. And I got to make sure that it doesn't bend on me or that it not be able to hold the weight. So that was me cutting it out. Now I take the chipboard and I cut two pieces at 7.5 inches, and here is I use my L square so I get perfect measurements because L squares don't fail when it comes to measurements. If you use an L square, I'm telling you, you will have the perfect measurements. So this is going to be 7.5 inches by 7.5 inches. As you see here, I'm pulling it up a little bit so I can mark it. All right, and then I turn my L square. Okay, and you could get these at Harbor Freight. They're really cheap. They're not expensive at all. They used to sell, this one was from Dollar Tree when Dollar Tree had them, but they don't have them anymore. All right, so I'm lining up to my 7.5 inch mark on the top and then on the bottom too. Hold it down firmly, and then you just trace out your square. See, like I will do here in about a minute. It moved on me, and my head gets in the way. I'm sorry. Every once in a while, my head with my messy hair will come in. Okay, and there you go. And then I cut two pieces exactly like this. All right, and see, that's what I'm telling you. And then after that, I had cut a piece in the middle that measured 4 1/4, and I cut it going the opposite direction. You notice how the lines are going vertically now? Okay, because I want the horizontal for the cover, the front cover and the back cover, and vertical for the middle because I wanted to bend a little bit in the center here. And I'm sorry I didn't show you that when I was measuring it. I thought I recorded it and I didn't. And here I'm having problems with the masking tape and the board staying in place. And you want to leave a little gap like that so when you it's like less than an eighth, like 1/16 of an inch, okay, separation. So when you fold it, okay, it doesn't rip. You see how I folded it, and you see how I want my bind to curve a little bit. Then I take the back of the mirror and I measure it. It's perfectly fine. And what I'm showing you is that where it's going to be attached, what that book is going to be attached, see, to the mirror, just like that. All right, so this is the back part. I'm creating the back part. So I take my type on and take those two pieces that I cut prior, okay, when I traced the mirror out on the chipboard, and I'm going to glue them together with type on because I really want this to stick. So I put a pretty much type on, and I do complete coverage of that one side of the chipboard, and then I add the chipboard on top of that so it makes one solid sturdy piece, okay? And yeah, I make a mess, but I clean it all up, okay? And then I add the other piece to it, smooth it out, make sure that it's all even and lined up. That's what I'm doing away from the camera. I'm sorry. I had to bring it closer so I could look at the edges really good to make sure without sticking my head underneath the camera. Okay. So then now I'm taking and using my hot glue gun to do the trimming for the faux mirror that I'm going to be creating in the back. Okay. Which is going to be the back of the book. Okay. And this one is going to be designed, just I'm only doing the framework today, but the mirror and stuff will be in my volume 2 video, which I'm going to be posting by next Saturday. Okay, which will be volume 2, because I'm joining a collaboration on, I think it's Thursday the 16th. Okay, so I won't be putting out a video on Wednesday. But here I am applying glue, the hot glue, to the molds that I want to use. And here I'm showing you that you don't have to use the whole mold. You could use part of the mold like I did there, you see. And I showed you that I didn't use the other sides because it was bended down too far and I wanted it to be a little bit longer. That's why I created the other two. Then I'm going to show you how easy it just comes apart. Okay, so you can use hot glue in these molds. Okay, as long as they are silicone molds, you could do that. And this one I got at Hobby Lobby in the bakery section. It's trim work for cakes. And there, so you see, I take it out, and what I do is I clean up the edges with my little trimming scissors and clean up all that excess glue that's on the sides. You see how I'm picking at it and stuff, but I will cut it later on. And I do the same thing with the other ones too. So and there I'm telling you that I'm going to be doing that, and I'll be back. So I set that to the side. Now I'm going to use this cardstock that I got at that one I got at Walmart. It was pretty cheap. It was that whole book for only, like, I think it was $4.97 it was that I paid. So I take this paper and I'm gonna cut it to 7.5 by 7.5, and I'm gonna cut 3 of them. Okay, and the reason we need 3 for 3 of the book covers. All right, even though that I mess up and covered the other one accidentally because I glued it on the wrong side, but that's okay because I'm gonna glue it on another one. And then I take my scrap pieces here and I cut them to 4.25, which is the binding part. Okay, and you need 2 of them for the front and the inside and the outside. So there, I show you that. Now here I'm taking this decorative paper, okay, and I need that one right there. It was $15.99, but I got it 40% off at Hobby Lobby. This one, I cut it to the 7.5-inch mark, okay. And then I cut an even square of 7.5 by 7.5 because that's going to be my one decorative piece, okay, that I'm going to use for the one side. Then I turn it and do the same thing again here. I cut it at 7.5 also. So it's an exact square to like what I was using before, okay. So there it goes. I cut it nice and slow. I don't know why I'm showing you this in regular speed, but that was for the inside of my book, okay? So you have 3 of these and then 1 of these, okay? And you'll see why. And then 2 of the 4.25. So now it's time for me to glue everything down, all right? So, but first, before I do that, I take this ink. It's called Black Soot, all right? And I'm going to ink all my papers, okay? And you probably know already how to do this, but for those who don't know, this one is a brand new ink pad, and that's why you see that I open it and I take the plastic cover off of it, and my dabber is a brand new dabber, so you really gotta saturate it so it works really good. So I take that plastic and just rub my dabber on it to collect all that ink that's on that plastic. Waste not, want not, right? So I collect all the ink from there to saturate my ink dabber, and then dispose of the rest of it. Okay? Now, I take the ink dabber and then I'm gonna ink the edges of all my paper. Now, I don't show you me doing all of them. I think I only show you this one piece, and you see how the difference, how you could cover up the white of the paper with your ink dabber. You can see the difference in that. It makes a big difference when you're putting something down. Plus, it finishes your paper and makes it stand out more a little bit when you do this. You could do this. You don't have to do it in black, but I chose to because I don't want any of the white to show, and I don't want to use any other color at this time yet to blend in. But if I do, I will do it at the time that I am creating, okay, anything. But for now, right now, I'm just gonna cover it with the black ink, as you see here. And I think I only show you these two, and then the other ones I do it off camera. So yeah, look, see how you blend it in, and it looks so good because it looks like it makes the whole paper look like it's all in the it's completely solid black, and it makes the picture the frame pop. So here I'm showing you that I'm going to do all three of those. Now I take black duct tape, and I want my binding to be strong, okay? So I take black duct tape, okay, and wrap it around like that. And I had a little bit of problems here trying to line it up. It got stuck before I could even pull, and I had to pull it back, and then it wrinkled a little bit there, but it doesn't matter because it's going to be stuff put on top of that. You're not even going to see it. But I did it just in case. If you can't see it, I use black instead of silver or any other color. So I have all different colors duct taped. So then I take that, cut it, and trim off the edge after I wrap it up. And there you go, voila. Like, I'm going to have a good, nice, tight bond. It's not going to separate. It's not going to crack easy. And that's how I protect my binding. Now, I'm going to take each of one of those little squares that I cut out, and I'm going to put my glitter glue. And I have so many problems with this glitter glue. Like, it really, like, it dries too fast. All right. So here, I must have turned off the camera and forgot to turn it back on, but I glued down all of the pieces that I had just cut out. All right, and there I'm showing you how it's going to bend on that one end and in the inside. But that's okay. If you see those creases, don't worry about it, because we're going to cover all that. And all those little trimming of the edges, I inked them up, okay? But, and all in all, also, it's going to be covered later on when I decorate the book. All right, which will be volume 2, all right? So here I'm trying to find the measurement that I want exactly for it's a mesh. It's not a mesh. Oh my goodness, I can never remember the name of this. Burlap. Okay, it's black burlap. That's the word. All right, so I'm going to take this, measure it down to 7.5 inches, right? Because that's how long I need it. And then I'm gonna go up on the top and oh well, I do the line to make so I have a straight line there. And then I measure this the top at 7.5, and then I remember, wait, no, I need it at 6.5 because it's 6.5 wide. So then I take it, go to 6.5, and it's a big piece, and I have a lot of problems because I don't have that much space here. So I measure down the line to 7.5, and it's a little wonky, and I realize that, and so I take it to where I want it to be 6.5, then line it up to the top point, and there I have an even square. So I cut two pieces like that. Now I take my glitter glue, took that fancy little tip off of it, and just used the regular size tip. And I cover this with the glitter glue really good, because I like the glitter glue because it dries really, really fast, and it dries clear. So I lay my burlap on it and stretch it out real, real good, smooth it out. And then I take the edges and do the same, and I smooth it out real good with a damp cloth, okay? And then I go over the top edges to seal the edges so they don't keep fraying. You see how I have fraying there? I remove all that fraying and stuff from it later on. You'll see me do that later on. And then I paint over top of it with the glitter glue like that to seal the edges, okay? So it doesn't keep on fraying. And I do that all around that edge, and then I go to the back edge and do the same thing. 7.5 by 6.5, and the other piece. And then I glue that down the same way I did the other side. All right, that way I have the binding in the front and I have the binding in the back. Okay, and that makes it nice and uniform. And then see, I spread it all the way to the 6.5 inches and spread this down. And don't worry if it doesn't go all the way to the edge. Remember that I'm going to be binding the edges with decorative stuff, either ribbon or twine or something. Today all we're doing is just making the book. So there, I just binded that stitchery, okay, and then clean off my nozzle, and you see how it's already drying, and you see wherever it's white, it's just still wet. So then I take this piece of paper and a plain piece of paper, one from the decorative cardstock and one from the plain one. And the decorative one, it's not double-sided. So I just flip it over, and that's the back side of the decorative one. And I trace out my mirror, okay? And then I take the black one and do the same thing there, trace that one. All right, so one side is going to be the outside and one side is going to be the inside of my back cover. Now, this one, just in case if you can see the white, what I did was when I inked it, I inked the edges all around just in case so you don't see the white, okay? Now I'm going to glue both pieces of cardstock to my chipboard that the two pieces that I glued together. And I'm putting tacky glue, okay? I use many glues. And then I'm just going to paint this on there real good, right up to the edges, because you want it to cover the edges real good. And then just smooth out the lines so there's no lumps or anything like that. Just make sure that your edges are completely sealed, okay, with glue. And then I put that down, smooth that out, good. And then all those, I'm telling you there that I'm going to take the edges and trim them off, okay? And here I'm doing the same thing with the decorative cardstock paper. And I'm covering it really good with the tacky glue. real good. See how I'm doing it? And then I brush it on so you don't see those lines and stuff through the cardstock, okay? So I smooth it out with a brush, and then I lay it down and level it out to the best that I can so it matches. If you see any cardstock, chipboard or the other cardstock, I'm going to take it and trim it. Now, the pieces that I did with my glue gun and the frame, I'm going to paint with this black gloss paint from Apple Barrel. Okay, I'm going to do all those pieces, okay, and you don't paint the back. You just paint the front and all around the edges to take away the gold from the frame, okay? That's what I'm doing, all right? And I'm using that black gloss Apple Barrel paint, all right? So, and I use a makeup brush so it's nice and smooth. Here they all are, all painted and dry. Now I'm going to use this Deco Art silver paint. Okay, it's really shiny, nice and silvery. All right, and you'll see that here. And I'm going to take my a chip paintbrush, okay? And it's an old paintbrush. I love it. I use it for all my chippy painting, okay? And I'm going to wet a piece of, because I use Viva paper towels. That's like having a rag. It's like fabric almost, okay? So nice and thick. I love it. So then I take the chippy brush and I soak it really good in that silver. Then I wipe it off on the paper, on my napkin. But that's what I'm going to use to keep, my brush with the silver paint. I keep going back to that. All right. And here I'm dry brushing over the top of everything that I just painted black. And I love using this Lazy Susan. I have this, I use it for painting all the time. And as I'm painting, I spin it. I don't have to touch my art, any of my work. And that's how I paint. I use this Lazy Susan. I use this a lot, so I don't have to grab anything or hold it in my hand and get my hands all full of paint. That's how I do it. And sometimes I'm a little off camera here, but then I bring it in camera view so you can see it, what I just painted. There you go. And I dry brush everything with the silver. I do not do complete coverage. I don't want complete coverage. I want the black to see through the silver. Okay? And that's what I'm doing right there. So when I'm done with that, then I set that to the side and let that dry while I continue with getting ready to construct the book. All right? Because we're going to, the book cover. Because that was our main objective today. So I take this type on again and I'm fighting with it, trying to clean out the jar. And I says, let me just clean it up. And I didn't know I was recording until I did the editing, and I left it in. So you see that everything don't go always smoothly, with us crafters. A lot of people think, oh, well, she's a superhero. She could figure this out quick. Oh, no, we go through things. Like here, you see my glue doesn't want to work, but that's all right. So I take hot glue, and everywhere that I didn't put the type on, I put the hot glue. And you want to make sure that they don't mix. Then I take and make sure that the bottom half of this lines up to the bottom half of the book. Okay, just like that. And then you see here how you can see the fold, and I added it on so the image in the back is visible. And I have creases on it. I don't care. That's okay, because what I'm going to do to this, that is going to give it character. So now I'm taking all my little pieces and I'm going to be gluing them down to the decorative side of this book, the book. All right, and there I go. I glue on. That's the fancy squiggles. I don't know what you call them. I forget what you call them. And put them down. And then I take the trimming, okay, the braided trimming, and put it on the sides, okay, like so. Add that down. Add the other side. And put that. And you want to use your glue gun at high temperature because it helps the bonding. Then on the bottom, I'm going to add these pieces, the two fancy pieces to the corner like that, and the braiding on the bottom. Okay, so, and then I glue the braiding first, then I glue down the two fancy little pieces like so. And there you go. And that is it. Now we're going to go to the front cover. This one's a little bit easier. So we take the backboard. We're going to add the mirror. And I'm trying to figure out how the mirror went back in. And I figured it out that you had to slide it from the bottom upwards. And then attach all the pieces and turn them. Okay. And voila. Snapped it all in. And it's done. Now that's where it's going to be. So now I take the Titebond and I put it all around the corners, the edges, all around, because remember I told you this is heavy, so I want to make sure that it stays bonded well. So I use my Titebond Quick and Thick because that's the best glue in the world. I think I love my Titebond. I always keep a full big bottle of it. That's my small bottle. Then I take the hot glue and I put hot glue wherever there's no Titebond. There I am making faces while I'm gluing that down. Make sure that the side piece lines up with the edge. And it's done. So here's the book finally done. This is the front of it. Okay, and that's what the front of the book looks like. And I smoked out the mirror image because you could see me standing in front of it. And then here is the center piece, the inside of the book, and you see how you're gonna see all the binding and everything, but that's okay because we're gonna work on that when we decorate it. And here's the back side. Isn't that pretty? Wait till you see what we're gonna do with the center of that when we're decorating. I want to say thank you so much for joining me today. I have an announcement here. I am going to be joining the Calendar Girls, which is run by Tiffany from Simply Blessed Crafts and Jessica from The Busy Housewife, and their guest host is Tiffany's husband Ryan, and they're going to be doing a funny video. So I'm going to be joining them. Stay tuned for volume 2. It's coming really soon. It should be, I think, the Saturday after this video. And like, share, comment, subscribe, hype if you can. You know, I know you can't hype on this video yet, but soon it will be. So please, do all you can to help me help my channel grow. It's all for free. And I want to say stay blessed, my friends. I love you. See you on the next one.